All right, let's jump into these signs. Let's jump into these signs outside. What led you to saying, you know what, I'm gonna take that little bit of real estate outside, because normally it's just, church verses or something like that, or we having a meeting on, Bible study on Wednesday or whatever the case may be.
Right.
What made you say, I'm gonna take that real estate on those signs and start talking about the gay agenda, as I'd like to put it?
Well, I didn't just start talking about the gay agenda on that announcement board out there. I had some other things to say about Obama, about a lot of other people. But to answer your question, to your point, was when I preached those messages from the pulpit, they weren't going anywhere. People shut it down. They don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to put me on television. Nobody wants to interview me about my opinions about things. They would just shut down. We don't have.
And it would stay within the confines of these walls.
Until I realized I got thousands of people passing by out there every day, and twice on Sunday. And that became my medium for talking to the world. And it speaks all over the world. So that's
your Twitter, that's your
Facebook. That's my thing. That's my thing out there.
I mean, I gotta admit, when I first saw it, I was like, right on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, we need, because the church has always traditionally, in the black community, been at the forefront of a lot of issues and social change and things of that nature, as well as protest.
That's right.
So, but you're not seeing it as much. People get very comfortable in their positions and get very complacent, and they want to be politically correct these days, and they don't want the backlash that might come.
That's true.
With
that's so very
being
true.
Outspoken.
That's true.
And trust me, I'm an outspoken person myself on this very medium, Vlad TV. I'm known for being someone who stands by the truth, basically, unapologetically. That being said, I was like, yeah, bravo to this guy, because I think more people in ministry and stuff like that have this kind of medium should use it for what it's traditionally used for, which is to help and inform the people.
My observation of churches in this community and nationwide is that they have capitulated to try to reconcile themselves to the world. They want to be well thought of. They want to be invited to the mayor's office. They want to be accepted by the world. But these are two different issues. That you can't serve both issues. You cannot be a part of the world and preach the gospel. You can't do that. So I think that what they have done and realized, the other thing is that many, not just the pastors, but the church people, the members, the congregants these days, they don't want to hear that message. Many of them have homosexual relations, or they have family members that are such. Listen, the idea of sodomy and homosexuals has been in the church as long as the church, especially the black church, as long as anybody can remember.
Let's speak on it.
Yeah, it has always been there, on the organ and the musicians, on the choir, in the pulpit. I know two pastors when I first came to the ministry, two pastors who were known for being homosexual lovers. This was going back to the late 70s, early 80s. It was known that they were. And one particular pastor was known for, picking up young boys. I mean, they talked about it. Homosexuality, lesbianism has always been an issue in the church. It was just nothing.
And why do you think that is? I mean, are you open enough to address the fact that Christianity, and especially Catholicism,
oh man, we don't talk about
the
that.
way it exists now,
right?
Actually is very supportive of homosexual behavior, if you really think about it.
Sexuality, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Pardon me, not to cut you off, but I'm talking about the psychological symbols that you'll find in Christianity, such as the removal of the woman from the Holy Trinity, which is a concept that goes back to ancient Kemet. Okay, even the blaming of the woman for, original sin. She's the one that got Adam to eat the apple and all of this type of stuff, and even the writing of the Bible that is so
revered, I guess.
Revered and used now, especially the King James Version. We know homosexuals even had a hand in writing that version of the Bible. And I'm talking about your man, William Shakespeare.
Well, it very well may be true that, a number of people think that the Apostle Paul was a homosexual. I don't agree. I don't think that he was. I think that Mary Magdalene has gotten a bad rap as a prostitute.
Right, and it doesn't say that she's a
prostitute. No, it doesn't say that at all. But contemporary church, I think that most people, spirituality and sexuality can get very confusing from time to time. Inside of a church, there's a movie, Silence of the Lambs. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but the psychiatrist, doctor, whatever his name, said that people covet what they see every day. And that's where this sexual propensity came to kill people, the women that he was killing, because he lived next to them, so he saw them every day, rather than people on television someplace else. In churches, that begins to happen. People begin to covet the people within the church that they see, and so the sexuality builds up along with the spirituality, along with allowing yourself to be free and floating. That happens. And there are a lot of sexual sins that go on in churches, a lot.
Right, but why would it cross over to a same-sex relationship? Because everybody knows, the church is one of the places, if you want to find you a woman, there's quite a few hot ones in the church.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But why would so now as a pastor or whoever, if there's enough women going around in the church, why would you now have a side eye towards that little boy?
Because you always did. You always did.
No, I don't believe that.
Nah, it is. I'm telling you, you always did have that. Now, there may be, to some degree, to argue your point, there may be, at some degree, where people now feel more free to allow those feelings to be made manifest and to publicly declare them. But there has always been that sexuality, homosexuality, if you will, in the church. Always. And
so do you think that homosexuality is something that's latent in certain people? Do you think some people are born gay?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Absolutely not.
Because I don't believe that either.
No, it's a behavior that you learn.
Right.
It's a lust that you you acquire.
Okay, well let's get into some of the signs real quick, and then maybe you can briefly just, tell me what you had in mind when you put it up there. The homo demons have metastasized in Harlem restaurants, possibly transmit sexual disease.
One fellow stopped by and said, listen, these niggas in Harlem can't read, they don't know what metastasized mean. So,
well, I happen to know that cancer metastasizes, and that's how cancer spreads, by metastasizing.
It just grows exponentially, it just continues to multiply, so that's what I meant. Homosexuality is metastasizing in this community. And one of the places that homosexuals, sodomites frequent are restaurants. And many of them work in restaurants, but many of them eat, and they love to sit out and eat and drink and have fun. They got a lot of money that they can spend on those issues. And so I simply warned people that as this is happening, homosexuals do carry a large number of diseases. It's hard not to be a homosexual, especially when you're digging at another man's anus, that you don't carry some disease. And a lot of time that digging is with the mouth, and I'm not sure how well that's cleaned up, after the fact. They may just go out to eat right after the event. So I thought I would warn people. You need to be very careful about what's happening here with all these homosexuals in these restaurants in particular.
All fags, lesbos, and fag churches, as you burn with lust for human waste, as you just said, so shall you burn in hell as waste. Hell is God's sewer of fire.
That's right. That's what I said. I said that, yeah.
I mean, you know, you got a point here when you talk about lusting for human waste. I mean, that's some nasty ish, Pastor. It's like, you know, see, they want you to try to envision what's going on because that's where you get attacked first, is in the mind. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the fact that you have to imagine human waste on somebody's genital, it's just, come on, man. But that's something that they are lusting after.
No,
like
they love it.
they must feel like happy when they see that or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy right there.
It's a part of the process. And
Let me get to one of my, this is probably my favorite sign. I'm just gonna skip to this one because I love this sign right here. This is my favorite one. And I'm gonna tell you why at the end. All churches and members that support homos, cursed be thou with cancer, HIV, syphilis, stroke, madness. Now this is my favorite one right here. The itch, and then hell. Oh man. I said this man do not want these people to rest. He wished the itch. And you put it second to last. Like that had me crying when I read that one. I said, no, he didn't wish the itch on these mom. I said, wow, okay. I don't know, I just thought that was hilarious to me.
well, you know, people believe that the church and pastors have the authority to pray for them, to bless them, that good things will happen to them. The opposite of that is true. And with the every ounce of my fiber, I pray that that happens, especially for these churches and church leaders that support that. I pray that they get cancer, HIV.
These Eddie Longs and
yes, sir.
These type of dudes out
yes,
there.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I pray that with my deepest prayer.
It's like, well, your prayers are being answered. See, because one of the things they don't talk about is the high, like, AIDS in the gay community is just as high as it's ever been.
That's right.
Like, it ain't going down. It
Right.
ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
Like, this is a death style. Make no mistake about it. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a death style. So, choose on, but at the same time, know that some of this is coming to you, especially the itch. So we talked earlier about, you know, other churches might not having the, you know, the fortitude to just say whatever they feel, right or wrong. What has been your backlash for putting these signs up, you know, and speaking your mind as you speak it?
We have been protested against, the Rainbow Crowd, what's the name of that group? ACT UP. Constant every day. If you go out there and stand out there long enough, you'll hear individual people saying ugly things about us. This is not of God. This is not a church. This is a hate group. That's a hate pastor. He doesn't belong in the community. And the thing that insults me, and this is not racist, but you got a lot of white people that have moved up to this community over the last 10 years or so.
Well, we're going to talk about that too.
They tell me I don't belong in the community. I'm not a part of the community. I've been here for 30 years.
Right.
When the crack
They've been here 4 or 5 years, and they gonna tell us
Right.
who's part of the community.
When the crack epidemic, when people were sleeping on the streets, We, for 10 years, housed people. People slept at this altar. We fed the hungry, the homeless. We took in families. And all the work we've done in this community, we have a school. If you'd been here a little earlier, you would have seen children out there in the courtyard that we feed every day and never ask for a dollar.
I went to the bathroom, I saw you have, there was kids downstairs and it looked like a little
well, we had a ton of them here this morning.
Like that downstairs.
You're going to tell me that I don't belong in this community?
Right.
You just got here.
Where was you when that was going on?
Absolutely.
Right.
And they feel they have the arrogance to talk to me like that.
Well, this is white privilege. You see, this is what's called white privilege, where they feel a certain entitlement. See, it's going on. My analogy to what you just said is, here on Vlad TV, I had made a statement about hip hop music, which is the black man's music, which is something that we created, which is the new jazz. You got white people now, just because you got white people coming into hip hop and now you got white rappers, they're trying to say this is not our music.
Like, I can't go in somebody else's house, and even though they let me wear their clothes and eat their food, that's not my house. That's their house. And I can't get so comfortable in their house that I feel like I could now start talking house politics.
When I told them white people are guests in the house of hip hop, they had a fit, Pastor Manning.
Well, I can understand
They
that.
lost their mind. What do you mean? This is something that's universal. This is everybody's music. Just like right now, they're going to tell you that this is everybody's Harlem. No,
That's right.
No,
That's
it's not.
right. No, it isn't.
No,
No, it isn't. It isn't. No, it isn't.
And I don't care if it's within New York City. I don't care if hip hop is made on white people's record labels. This is still our music. This is still our community. You understand what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna have no Johnny-come-latelys coming in telling us how things are gonna move around here.
Well, I've told them they need to get out of here. This community, I told them.
Right.
I put it out on the sign. I've said it in so many words that best to sell your homes and recoup whatever profit you can from your houses, because this is our community, and I'm not giving it up.
What do you think's attracting them so more? Like, why do they want to be here amongst the people that truly they're scared of? Why do they want to be here?
Mind you, I don't mind some white people living here, as long as they understand what's happening here. I don't have a problem with that. But don't come here and tell me that I don't belong here because I don't accept your lifestyle, your liberal, politically correct ideas, your ideas about what the people in the community ought to be doing, how they ought to be structuring their families. Don't you come to tell me that. You're not bad enough to tell me that. You don't know how to tell me that. I'm not going to have it happen. But I mean, if you're going to come in and live peaceably, you can be a member of this church. I don't mind that. But the other thing is they've taken me to court. They're trying to get that sign taken down. That's right.
And you know what's so sad and what's so fascist about it is they just might succeed.
No, they're not.
I hope not.
No, they're not going to do
I
that. But they
hope not.
tried. I'm telling you, they got
But
lawyers.
what I'm telling you is you got people like Obama, we're going to talk about him, who I think he's either they recently outlawed it or they're trying to come up with a bill where homosexual conversion therapy, you heard of that?
Yeah.
They're trying to outlaw it.
Yeah, I heard about that. I know about that.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's satanic is what it is. You know?
Yes, you're correct. And we're gonna get more into this as we go on. The recent legalization of gay marriage. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I believe that anyone who parades himself in thought and ideas as a sodomite is demon possessed. That is to say that here you are, born a man, Y chromosome, everything else that a man is, but if you think you're a woman, you're sick. And only a demon would confuse you to the point, only a spirit, that another evil spirit that would have taken over your mind and faculty and make you think that you're something that you're not. I mean, if it was any other kind of thing going on, they'd put them all in some sort of sanatorium. You're sick. So the very fact that it's been legalized, gay, sodomite, whatever it is, means that demons now have constitutional rights under the Constitution of the United States of America.
See, definitely, I'll say sickness in my, I don't like to use words like demons and stuff like that, but I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree. I feel we live in a mentally ill society.
Well, that's true as well.
And a lot of things that we see in our society right now are only symptoms, shall you say, of mental illness.
Okay.
I agree. If you have cancer or whatever, there's going to be certain things that show up in your body. And even when you treat the cancer, your hair might fall out. These are all peripheral symptoms of the sickness. So, to me, homosexuality, first of all, there's different levels to it. There's the sexual attraction towards same sex, but then there's also the level of where you think you are the opposite sex in your mind.
You're right.
See, not all of them feel that they're women or vice versa.
That's true.
They just have a lust for the same sex.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Now you got these Bruce Jenners, who I refuse to call by his new name.
Amen goes right there. I'll never say it.
I'll never use their pronouns either. I'll never call one that thinks it's a woman. I'll never start calling it a she or you, my man. And I'm gonna give you a strong handshake just like I gave you just now. I don't care if you got a dress on or whatever, lipstick or whatever. If you a man, you getting a man handshake from me. I don't care what you think.
I don't know if I checked the hand in the first place, but
I understand what you're saying. But I might shake their hand. But here's the thing. If I was to, in my mind, say, I've always felt like I was a dog, ever since I was young, I might even get my mother to corroborate that I've eaten a few meals, on the floor, just eating it out the bowl or something like that because I thought I was a dog, let's just say. Not only would you think I was crazy, but the truly crazy part to me is if I have to force you to acknowledge that I'm a dog.
That's quite profound.
You see, that's what's going on right now. These people believe in their mind that there's something. Now that's one thing. I might not agree with it. But for you to now try to force me to say what's obviously not true, you want me to reinforce your lie, basically.
Right.
That's why I just said lies are the new truth.
That's a great perspective.
Right. Yeah. But when your girl Rachel Dolezal want to be black.
Okay.
Now she's crazy. She's abnormal to them, to the same people that want us to believe it's not abnormal.
Excellent point.
To want to be a woman.
Excellent point. Goes all the way back to your initial point that we're living in a society of mental sickness, but an excellent point. All that comes under that banner, what you just expressed.
I'm me. So I'm gonna always, give my opinion on things. And I saw Lauren London come out at the BET Awards, and she was like, she had gained a little weight. So I said, yo, Lauren London left her waist trainer at home. Ha ha ha.
I was a big lean drinker, like heavy on lean. You feel me? Like I'll drink a 6 or pour a 4 in a 20 ounce, or drink a 8, a 10, a 12 in one day. That's the type of shit I did.
How young were you when you first started?
Like when I first started drinking lean, like 15.